does for his job. You know, he doesn't mean it. We're actually good friends. You know, he makes fun of everyone. It's not just me, right? Oh, also,
Bro, nobody cares. Who asked? Hello? Who asked about Bill Burr? Who asked about like these people? Nobody cares about this. Like there's no reason to engage with any of this because nobody cares, okay? The only part that anyone cares about is the CPS and the Hamas part, okay? That's the only part anyone cares
I
about.
can't forget about Matt Lieb. Matt Lieb is in this like middle tier. His valuable association is Rhett and Link. So Rhett and Link, conveniently, are also in this category of popular and powerful men who Ethan does not want to burn bridges with. Although he's sniffing around.
This guy, Matt Lieb, he works for Good Mythical Morning. Of all people, this guy, Matt Lieb, who apparently is a producer for Good Mythical Morning. Well, this guy works for Good Mythical Morning, acting like he's wholesome, and he's bringing on somebody that wants to kill my wife, or in a video game. And I think he should be fired, frankly. And I hope he is fired. He's pathetic, and he interviewed basically a terrorist.
I think Ethan only respects power right now, which is one of the reasons I made this video in the first place, is because he thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits.
I actually do not think Ethan Klein has went after anybody who did not deserve it. Everybody that Ethan Klein has gone after fucking deserved it, dude. Like, we're talking about who? Denims? Bad Empanada? Frogan? Like, can he name like a single content creator that really didn't deserve it because they just simply got a picture with Hasan or something? Like, all of these people are personally attacking Ethan, calling CPS, coordinating doxed information in between group chats and Discord servers, right? Like, okay, like, fine, you know, like, here's the thing, okay? If a podcast has on Bad Empanada, but then didn't do any research into their guest, like they didn't do any research into like what this person fucking did, right? Then yes, it's their fucking fault, dude. Like, then it's completely plausible for Ethan Klein to criticize the podcast for having on Bad Empanada. They shouldn't be having the person on because this guy is nothing but trouble, nothing but controversies. And by doing that, you're inviting criticism. You deserve criticism, frankly, right? So it's it's so stupid. It's like, it's retarded. It's like inviting over the fucking Godfather and you don't expect to have your limbs being sawed off tonight, you know? Like, yeah, I don't know.
Too. And I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit and we're going to call you out.
So here's the button. You've got a video and you've got an audio. We're hitting both.
Do you have the button when you want to do something in the background? No. Maybe I should, okay?
You'll be living with your parents for a lot longer. Yes, please, I want to be a good Jew. I'm a good Jew, please, guys, please.
That was fine.
Yeah, I don't think it was that
fine.
big a deal.
Hey.
Of all the things that
Anywho.
it always surprises me what you think crosses the line.
Well, I looked at Olivia and she's like, yes, do it.
Now let's talk about the button. Ethan got this button, or kill switch, as a response to the controversy with Cutie Cinderella. He was not able to control himself in that moment, and instead of figuring out how he can change his behavior, he spent $20,000.
Dan and Ela were like, we would kill button that right now if we could. I can't change who I am.
I know. That's why the kill button is on its way.
That's it. See, exactly.
He uses the button for everything. If his jokes don't land, he's hitting the button.
It was being presented as if the Jordan crying thing.
I hit the button.
Why?
I don't think I needed to, but you guys were giving me crickets, so I panicked.
If he's insecure about getting something wrong, he's hitting the button.
But okay.
What?
Button for that? What on this frame could Ethan have responded to? Perhaps the country flag that he got wrong? Maybe. I don't know.
If he goes on a problematic tirade, he's hitting the button.
Before, look how sad. But yeah, it's not just that. Like their eyes are like big. I think you guys are wrong on this one. I think you guys are all wrong on this one.
I don't think he's unique in hitting the button. I think if all of us had buttons, we'd hit the button all the time. But if you don't have it, you operate differently. You think about what you're saying. You maybe plan for your show a little bit more. You maybe say, I'm not going to have my podcast be an emotional dumping ground for today. You instead say, ooh, it's important that we stay on topic. Also, the H3 community and Ethan himself use the phrase goblin mode.
I don't get this critique. Can somebody please explain this critique to me? Like what exactly is what exactly is Idubbbz complaining about here? That they have a show gimmick when Ethan Klein is insecure about a topic? I mean, it's like a gimmick. Who cares? I mean, you're giving a little bit of a critique, but it has nothing to do with the overall topic. He's saying the button is a crutch. Yeah, but it's like, who cares? Nobody cares. Gosh, can we just talk? Can we just talk about something that's actually relevant instead of talking about a fucking show gimmick?
All the time to excuse a lot of his shitty behavior or make it seem less bad.
I've been diagnosed with goblin mode, actually.
No, but the problem is that you haven't defined anything remotely shitty about his behavior so far. All right? That's the problem. Like the problem here is that so far there's no actual problem, that there's nothing bad that Ethan actually did here, right? We don't have Ethan endorsing terrorism. We don't have Ethan making an Arab to Jew tier list. We don't have Ethan doing crazy shit that Hasan does, right?
By claiming that what happens is he just gets into this like uncontrolled state he refers to as goblin mode.
I do not call myself goblin mode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what you did.
Goblin mode? Is that what you're calling Tourette's now?
To all victims of goblin mode, I would like to issue an apology.
Well,
You are goblin mode today. You're goblin mode. Look how many times you paused the
I'm
fucking
trying,
video.
bro.
And I don't think there's no room for using the term goblin mode. I like the idea that you're defending yourself and the little guy by going goblin mode when a big corporation or a big entity is trying to attack you.
Like, if you fuck me over,
Ethan has a syndrome he can't help. Yep. I actually kind of understand this, okay? It's so I have restless leg syndrome, and my legs just won't stop shaking and I won't even notice. So, you know, I kind of get it.
if you steal money from me, if you patronize me, if you do any of this shit like you're trying to do to me, to treat me like a fucking idiot, I'm crazy, dude. I've gone fucking goblin mode over way less.
But you not thinking about what you're saying, not, you know, reflecting on your behavior, not changing your behavior, that's not goblin mode. That's being a child. Let's talk about the crew. I think the crew has been put in
Ethan has literally done nothing wrong so far, but okay, so he has no reason to change any of his behaviors because from his perspective, he didn't actually do anything wrong, but okay.
the worst working environment that you possibly can be for a fucking podcast. Every crew member has it bad. To be around Ethan, period, would be a nightmare right now.
I'm standing by every fucking syllable of that, okay? What she did was abhorrent. And by the way,
Just don't. Listen, your critique of her is correct. It's just, you know, people are sensitive about women being called that word. And so...
like, how pathetic are you?
You know what I mean?
Well,
I'm not assuming his pronouns. And fuck all these people. Go ahead.
No,
and I'm
no.
not yelling at you. I'm just...
Kelly is a black woman, right?
yes.
Maziel is a
Korean.
Oh, Dan, come on. You're being such a buzzkill.
So Idubbbz is allegedly criticizing how Ethan Klein goes to the technical difficulties whenever he makes an edgy joke. Is that the critique here? Who cares? Again, this is another who cares situation. So he has this gimmick, he has this like running meme or whatever that everybody like would do, right? Where the moment you have like a fucking it's like one of these memes where you make an edgy joke and you go to technical difficulties. That's just a meme. That's just a joke. Who cares, right? I just don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't get this
Korean.
critique.
I asked if Koreans are POs. God.
You know, Dan's in the bathroom. Let's just not do this right now.
I asked if Korean people are POCs.
The one time the button didn't work and we listened to how he spoke to AB without thinking that the internet was going to hear it, it was rude, it was nasty, and it didn't have this caveat of like, I'm not mad at you. It was anger, and it was uncalled for.
Use, they get access to cover most of it.
We're doing it.
What are you
Making it
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I'm sorry, I'm not.
Just like, this is what I'm talking about when it's always like.
We need to get home for our kids.
It's like, bro.
Oh, no, I didn't want to finish it right now. I was just talking about finishing Wednesday.
On Friday. Maybe. Is it?
You guys, like...
All right, I'm taking my hand off the. What? Okay, well.
heard all that.
Thanks, button.
And he
So am I wrong for assuming that Idubbbz has a problem with Ethan Klein making edgy jokes? Is that it? That's it? Is that really it? Like, just edgy jokes? That's not even edgy in my book. Like, in my book, at the very least, I've told way edgier jokes. Like, get a grip.
didn't want to take accountability for it. He immediately wanted to deflect, and he wanted to say that the button fucked him.
First of all, I appreciate the hard work.
I know
you've
you
done,
do.
and
I
I
know.
loved it, and I really enjoy it. But it's like every time we do it, it's
I
like
love the
show
Roblox
is what it is.
plushie.
I know.
It makes it.
I was being selfish.
No, dude, that button f***ed me, dude. Can you imagine that button f***ing me over like that?
The button fucked you? AB fucked you? Who fucked you? You fucked yourself by being an asshole. He makes it seem like he's not a tyrant of a boss.
We're doing it.
What are
Making
you
it
doing?
so awkward and terrible.
I appreciate the hard work.
I know
you've
you
done,
do.
and
I
I
know.
loved it, and I really enjoy it.
Dan, his producer, is constantly clarifying things on the air and making it clear that what Ethan said was a joke. Ethan is being overly defensive.
Okay. No, you can't tell whether or not somebody is a horrible boss or a great boss based off of what you see on the air. You just can't. It's impossible. It's not possible. Like, you can be like Keemstar and you're horrible to your employees on the air and off the air, right? You can be. Or you can be somebody else who is only mean to your employees on the air, but off the air, it's like not like they clearly have a very loose relationship. It's very clear to me they have a very casual, bantery, friendly relationship rather than the fucking like, oh shit, this weird workplace dynamic, right? Like, isn't it good to glaze your employees in public like that? Like, I feel like, I don't know how I feel about this one. This one is just like really weak. You know, this is a really weak critique. And also, not only that, again, this has nothing to do with like the primary issues with Hasan ever. No CPS, no Hamas, okay? Nothing. There's nothing here. Damn, what a tyrant boss. Foodshops, have you worked before? Do you wish that Ethan is your boss? No, I actually don't want Ethan to be my boss, but you know, I would love to be employed. I think Ethan could be nicer to his employees sometimes, though. It's up to them to be upset. It's up to them to be upset about it. That's it, okay? It's not up to Idubbbz to be the savior. That's just the end of it.
Offensive, or he's saying things that are like not true, and he's
Like, they're fucking adults. Like what are they now? Are they like not fucking adults now? If you don't like the job, then quit. All right? If you have a workplace complaint, then file a complaint. If you think you should sue somebody, then sue somebody. Why is it Idubbbz's job? It's not fucking Idubbbz's job. Who the fuck cares? Fuck off.
exaggerating.
People saw that. They thought that that
If you like being abused, then, you know, stand up and check if you have a boner or not. I don't know.
was what you searched to
I did
pull
not
up
type
that photo. So I'm just clarifying.
Thank you for clarifying. I appreciate you doing that. God forbid.
It's okay because I buttoned it.
Why?
Because
It's not that big of a deal, man.
just
like
your
how the-
inability to.
No. Hold on, Dan. How does it change anything? People knowing that we did it.
It's fun when it's a surprise.
Okay, well, tell
Well, you just asked how it changed
Surprise
things.
them on your show.
Okay. All right.
You know, I understand that that's his role, and he's, you know, Ethan's made that his job, or Dan's made it his job. Ethan leans on it so heavily, in the same way that he leans on the
Will you react to your evil twin? Yeah, maybe afterwards.
But Ethan is leaning on all of these people to be adults and look after his behavior and give all of this emotional and empathetic energy for Ethan, but Ethan refuses to give it back to them. Also, let's talk about AB and Lena, 2 Lebanese employees, and you just continue to talk about the conflict like they don't exist. It would be nicer, a lot nicer, for you to shut the fuck up about it. You're allowed to do that.
Hezbollah in Syria alone killed double that.
Well, who cares? Who cares? What the fuck? Who cares? Wait, so just because I'm Chinese doesn't mean that somebody should be talking about China near me? Like what's going on here? So if I'm Chinese and I work for a podcaster, right? And they were talking about Xi Jinping or something. So does that like it's almost as if identity politics is fucking retarded, right? Like it's almost as if just because somebody is Lebanese doesn't mean they know everything about Lebanon, right? Lebanon. See why I don't understand this video? Well, yeah, because Idubbbz' video is like all over the place and doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna move on. I just want to play Hasan talking about bad empanada.
Ethan doesn't want to change, and he wants to bring the entire crew down with him because he's putting them in this position every day, right? But it's more important that he gets this shit off his chest. It's more important that he dumps. We're all familiar with Goblin mode. Well, Ethan debuted a new mode recently.
And by the way, my ratio is pretty good. Like I'm looking at like 20 Goblin modes to 1 too far. Demon mode, let's call it.
What makes Demon mode different than Goblin mode is goblins aren't really like an intimidating, powerful force. If the goblin is persistent, it can get what it wants.
When I'm done with the other one, the big one that's dropping probably next week, my full attention is going to you, George. Like the Eye of Sauron. I see you. I see you out there, you fucking cockroach.
Ethan, the reason the internet got behind you when you were being sued by Matt Haas or when you were being sued by Ryan Kavanaugh is because people saw you as the underdog. They saw you as the guy who's defending the common man.
I'm suing, and I cannot wait for you guys to read it. At the moment, we are writing 3 complaints for 3 people.
You are doing the classic rich asshole thing. You have a deficit of friends, you have a surplus of enemies. You feel really bad, you feel hurt, but you also have a surplus of money. So what can you do? You can use that money to bully and intimidate people. These public legal
Dude, what the fuck? Okay, dude, this is like one of the biggest problems. Is like if you're a big content creator, you can just like never ever retaliate ever. As long as you're a bigger content creator, you just never you can never retaliate. Okay, it just otherwise it's just bullying. Okay.
threats that you're making to fellow creators, these legal threats that you're making to people on Reddit, on Twitter, you're like, I'm hurt. These people are hurting me. What do I do to stop it? There's nothing I can do to stop it. I'm powerless. No, you have a ton of power. You have a ton of options. You have a ton of choice. That's exactly what you get for being filthy rich, is you can do all of these things.
I've never want to sue someone for defamation, but like at what point?
Yeah, so what? So what? So you have a bunch of money. What are you going to do? You're going to use the money. It's within your right to do so, okay? It's within your right to do so. What's wrong with that? If you have a bunch of money and you're going to use it to attack somebody, what'd you do? You're going to use it, right? Yeah, I like, it's so weird. I don't know. Like, if they go as an Italian, meanwhile the person saying it doesn't speak Italian, can't read and write in Italian, never been to Italy. Yeah, exactly. Like what would what would Ethan Klein ask his Lebanese employees like opinion for, right? Like, would he go like, oh, hey, what's your Lebanese experience? And his Lebanese fucking employees will probably be like, well, Lebanon isn't all that much to me, but, I grew up as an American. They grew up as American, okay? They'll tell you if Five Guys is expensive. They'll tell you if McDonald's is having, a discount off Big Mac last week, okay? But they will not tell you about the intricate, Christian, intertwined Christian, Muslim, Judaism government that they have, and whether or not Lebanon is like a made-up country that the British just fucking made up, okay? Like, come on.
At what point do you kind of fucking have to? I mean, this is like basically someone calling you a pedophile. Be like, yeah, Ethan's a pedophile.
Dan Clancy or whatever, like the CEO of Twitch, and being
Pedophile. Dan KKK Clancy has a similar view of Hitler. Because Dan Clancy, the Nazi.
Okay, casually calling people a pedophile is probably the only critique that's too far, okay? This is the only valid critique of Ethan, okay? The only valid critique is that he just calls people randomly pedophiles. It's just fucking weird.
Fucking anti-Semite.
But obviously, like, who cares? Like, sure, if you should have put this at the very beginning then, if, this was like the only valid critique.
There are certain things you can accuse people of that rise above to make it like actionable, which is like wrongfully accusing someone of being a pedophile, a sex criminal, a murderer, shit like that.
Dan Clancy now, in other words, he is a pedophile.
You have so much less to go off of saying that
Oh
than
no,
anybody has about
based
Dream.
on his looks. Just on his based on his
Well,
looks.
at least you're self-aware.
That's 100%.
See, again, like, you can say that, people shouldn't be making these kinds of jokes, but Ethan Klein clarifies that it's a joke. Ethan Klein literally clarifies in this context that it's a joke. So, like, I don't see what the problem is. Like, I wouldn't be joking about whether or not somebody is a pedophile. I don't think it's okay. I still don't think that kind of joke is okay. At the same time, at least he clarifies inside this context that it's a joke. So, part of the problem is when people can't tell whether or not something is a joke or not, right? Because when something is in the middle zone where nobody can tell whether or not it's a joke or not, somebody might take it seriously, right? Is it cultural appropriation if I say ni hao? I mean, it's a little bit weird if you say it knowing that, like, I don't know. It really depends on the context.
100%
right?
a joke. I have no evidence to conclude that he is.
One of the more notable legal threats that Ethan has sent out recently is against Noah Samson.
I have nothing but vibes to gain, and potentially your money as well. Don't worry if you don't have it all now. I'll garnish your wages. You're going to be living with your parents for a lot longer, buddy. 26, you know what I mean? Try 46.
Noah made a video that was critical of Ethan and other content creators when they're talking about Israel and Palestine. I mean, the way he's talking about Noah on his podcast is so fucking creepy and weird.
Is this a new thing?
This is a new thing. This happened during the show. Upon initial examination, it seems to check out, and it's not great for young Noah.
Can I say that? Don't say it yet.
I'll say it.
So he's a rape. So of course his standard, I don't know what he's accused of, so I'm not actually going to say, but
Ethan brought on a former partner of Noah to basically just
Bro, that was the most fucking cut up, out of context segment that he has ever placed inside of his video, dude. Like, he just Dude, that clip was so fucking edited. We don't even know what the full context is. Like, he just cut out all of these fucking audio segments and only left in the part where he says rape. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, it's so fucking out of context. Come the fuck on. Like, where's the full context?
shit talk him and say that he's a bad partner. But that's all that Ethan was able to
What the
extract
fuck?
out of it.
you are not accusing him of committing any crimes or doing R-word or anything like that. The accusation is that he's a sleaze.
Absolutely. Noah
Yeah.
Samson, as far as I know, is not a rapist.
Fuck you to Noah Samson, who's not just a liar and a scumbag, but also a creep, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Now let's talk about the left-leaning Democrat.
He presents himself as someone like me, a left-leaning Democrat who supports basic things.
The thing that made me start to question Ethan's intentions is that when he was suggested to talk to Sam Cedar, a fellow progressive, a guy that Ethan respects and looks up to,
He works with Sam Cedar at the Majority Report. I respect him and what they do there.
he kept saying that it was racist or anti-Semitic to suggest that he talked to someone who's within the same ethnic group as him.
That's why I said yesterday, like, I urge Ethan to talk to Sam Cedar. There are very thoughtful, very kind anti-Zionist Jews out there that he could talk.
Okay, that's a weird ass point. What the fuck? This is coming from Hasan, who never has on a single fucking Jewish person who disagrees with him, except for Ethan Klein, like that one time. But okay, go off, King. You know, like